Schriock. She's the president of Emily's List, Democratic organization supporting candidates advocating for abortion rights and women's equality. Where are you guys, what are the key races for you guys? I would imagine Katie McGinty, Maggie Hassan in New Hampshire, Cortez Masto in Nevada.
Yeah, I mean, Emily's List is supporting 9 Senate candidates this year. 8 would be new voices, but we're at the end. Where's the main focus? I mean, we always talk about these tight races. Kind of just a huge shout out to Tammy Duckworth, by the way, who is in a double-digit lead in Illinois.
Yeah,
we always forget about Tammy Duckworth.
Fair enough point.
Rocking it.
Right, I should make the point that Tammy Duckworth, of course, who is both a veteran. She served in the Department of Veterans Affairs. She's now a congresswoman. She's running against incumbent Mark Kirk.
Purple Heart recipient.
Right. She is almost certainly going to win. And the reason that I didn't bring her up is because that's probably the least contested Senate race. That's a contested one in the country, right? And
it's a pickup.
Right.
Yeah, so it's a pickup for Democrats. So it's an important one, but it is fine that we all sort of leave that one aside. I just want to give her a big shout out because she's done so incredibly well. But you look at the races that are going to determine the Democratic majority in the Senate, and it's really our Emily's List candidates who are smack in the middle. Catherine Cortez Masto in Nevada, must win, hold seat, but a must win seat. You've got Maggie Hassan in New Hampshire against Kelly Ayotte. You've got Katie McGinty, as you were just talking about, against Pat Toomey. And then our sort of, as you're talking about Jason Kander, sort of the other Jason Kander surprise race is Deborah Ross in North Carolina.
That race is fascinating to me, too. And here's the reason. You know, Kander's running this classic sort of up-and-coming fresh face versus the old creature of Washington campaign. That's his campaign. Roy Blunt is this creature of Washington. I'm new. I hear you, right? That's not really what's going on in that North Carolina race. Tell me about who Deborah Ross is, because I find her resume fascinating, particularly given it's that state and she's as competitive as she is.
So, I mean, she has really been a champion for, for consumerism, civil liberties, and women and families. She served in the state legislature, so some folks sort of forget that piece of it. She's actually served in public office.
But she was a public interest lawyer, basically.
Absolutely. And I think that's really resonating when you're up against Richard Burr, who's somebody who's really sort of walked away from North Carolina, is tied to all the special interests, who, by the way, has had a terrible week after he suggested violence against Hillary Clinton. So he's not had
He apologized for it and said it was a joke, just to be clear.
He did. But
he also
enough
said
of these kind of jokes. This is not something to joke about.
Well, and he also said, and I thought this was actually one of the most important pieces of news of the week, that he would try to keep Scalia's seat open for 4 years were he returned to the Senate. That's an incredible thing.
And this is a huge thing at the end in a couple of these other races. I mean, I know we've got a long way to go in Iowa and Arizona, though. Arizona, with the early vote numbers, you're just talking about the Latino turnout. I get it, but she is one. Ann Kirkpatrick, who's the congresswoman running against John McCain, has put together an extraordinary campaign. But John McCain came out and said, we're not, if it's Hillary Clinton as president, we're not going to do anything with the court. Chuck Grassley in Iowa has been saying it's all about not putting anybody in there. These Republicans continue to just be obstructionists.
Do you think that moves?
That's a problem.
Do you think that moves voters?
I do.
Do you think it moves Democratic voters?
I think it also moves independent women. I think women voters are very, very frustrated with the non-action. And what is happening is not gridlock in Congress. It is Republicans causing gridlock. And they want to hold these Republicans accountable. Because they think, the reason they're saying those things is they think it motivates their people. And in fact, they've sort of bootstrapped the whole rationale for the Trump presidency out of holding the seat open. Sometimes I think there's an asymmetry in how much it moves different parties. Stephanie Schriock, thank you very much. You bet.